Dear Minister, perhaps this is your first time dealing with the Silent Hand, but I assure you, my eyes and ears, our eyes and ears, Minister, are already within. In fact, our operations already often take our members into these port towns, such as your dear saints. Make no mistake, Minister, this is not the first we have heard of your town, and this will not be the last your town has heard of us. I do sincerely hope that I will, as you have promised, have your fullest cooperation, for if not, well, neither of us wish to follow that path of thought. It interests me to learn how long you have served saints, and yet how many replacements there have had to be for your town's mayor. I mean no disrespect to the longevity of your species, but to continue functioning in the capacity of which you have for the reported amount of time you have been alive is, for lack of better words, a discrepancy. At the least, despite the suspicions it arouses, it should please you to note that currently you are one of the oldest members of the Pelorian Church that we have on record as currently with us. Inquisitively, Silas Creed.
Welcome to the Tones of Time! I'm the Timekeeper, and here are my victims. Guests, who shall now introduce themselves and who they are playing, starting with...
Good evening. I am the Christian assassin, and I shall be playing Garrett Arten, the Silent Hand.
And recently reunited with the vessel he needs.
Hello, I am Captain Sean Edinburgh, or Butch Edinburgh, played by that knucklehead Kyle St. Andrews.
And in this center, as always with the profile picture instead of showing his good mug.
Good
mug.
It's a good mug.
The mug of goodness, +1 to charisma.
Hello there, I am the Black Doctor, and I play the elegant, also religious Tortle, Donatello. And I guess for a bit of an introduction to our next character, Saruman the Stinky!
Speaking of...
Is it my turn? Hello, I'm the E-Disciple, aka Blake, and I will be playing Raffa Marcos, the monk with the confused brain.
And
currently agnostic, but curious.
Yes, and we have a lovely barbarian who's unfortunately currently a little wrapped up with a movie about a superhero. But she will hopefully be back before the end of the session, because plans conniving behind the scenes. Who, preferably if you don't have inspiration already going into this session, who can tell me where we last left our heroes?
On the dock.
You're not wrong. But you know what I'm asking.
I think the question is how they were on the dock, or why.
We're on the dock looking at a brand new ship.
Right. I'll tell us how. So what basically happened? Donatello got back up,
and Nella and Donatello went exploring to find the captain. Before we did that, we went to the cathedral and saw some really awesome stuff. Then we went to the docks, tried to find the captain. Captain got sucked into a bottle. We got sucked into a bottle. We lit it up on the ship, fought a bunch of skeleton guys, killed a skeleton guy, and got back out of the bottle. The captain crushed the bottle, or smashed the bottle, turned into a ship, and now we have a boat.
Boat. That is, yes, a pretty
That's how you get a boat.
concise summary of, and that's the face of someone who didn't follow the advice of rewatching the last 2 episodes. And we can't hear you currently.
Of course, my mic decided that moment to die.
That's a lot of background. That mic situation is just not working with your interface to TikTok audio, man.
Yeah, he's not using his mic right now. It might be if your phone is sitting on something, then you might need to probably lift it up a little bit so that your mic can actually pick something up. If not, then you'll figure out something. But
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. But yeah, my Bluetooth mics have both died, so I will not be using those for the rest of the evening, unfortunately.
Okay.
I just realized something.
With the background, you'll have to mute in between talking because that is picking up background noise like a magnet in a grind shop.
Only you would get that reference.
Nope, I got it.
My dad has a cow magnet in the garage, and it just has a whole bunch of flex on it. Anyways, that's besides the point. I'm derailing my own campaign now. Yes, that is where we last left our heroes. However, there was also one unconscious from a prior night. So, Raffa, you find yourself in this strange, uneasy, anxious feeling as if you're falling through dense air until you hear, for effect, Jeremiah, could you read the first verse that I asked you?
Yes. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want.
And how do you react to hearing the familiar sound of Donatello in this strange void?
I have no idea. That's a drawing a blank. So am I actually awake, or am I?
No, you're
I'm in a sleep.
basically you're having a fairly lucid adjacent dream. You're aware that you're dreaming right now.
Can you hear me?
There is no response, but after a minute, Black Doctor, would you read the second verse?
He maketh me to lie down in green pastures.
And with that, you find yourself resting upon a surface. As around you, you see dozens of shadowy figures, some familiar, some completely foreign. Familiar ones both from your current path of life and from your former paths of life. Do you do anything?
I'm just trying to collect my surroundings. Am I safe?
You currently do not feel like you're in immediate danger, although you are severely disoriented.
I'm gonna pat down my own body and try and figure out if everything's there.
You happen to have on, back in your former way of religion, did you have a particular set of vestments different from what you currently wear?
No, I dropped those.
Any tokens or particular items that you used to have related to your religion are again upon your body.
No, just the book that was gifted.
Okay. Yeah, there's... Yeah. You see the shadow that clearly seems to be your friend Donatello as, would you read the next verse, please?
He leadeth me beside still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake.
You feel the ground below you coming up as you're seated upon some sort of a stool. Would you read the next verse?
Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me.
Glad there's two.
You notice you are in some sort of a room that seems to be in a never-ending valley, going from behind you to as far as you can see in front of you. And around you, you find yourself amongst a myriad of tables and chairs and food, as a suckling pig is what's that term?
On the spit?
Whatever the verb is for when you take the lid off the platter, as the final verse from your companion's echo in your mind is read.
Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows.
That echoes in your mind as when he said enemies, you notice almost all of the figures around you turn into black twisted masses of tendrils and dripping ichor, even choking people around them, and crawling slowly towards you. As you look into the cup, you see a mirror image, perfect version of yourself, and you awaken in a cold sweat on your room floor as your life pauses.
Sorry, I got a notification.
So you awaken in a cold sweat on the floor, alone.
So I'm just going to look around and kind of determine where I am.
You're in the room you'd gotten at the Gather Inn.
Oh.
You hear muffled talking from the room next to you as we scene shift. As the assassin has been away from the party for just a little bit. Last time you returned to the tavern, you noticed your mentor in the room at the end of the upper hall from yours, and you are currently in there with him and two other assassins.
What is being discussed at the moment?
Basically, the mounting suspicion that has come up about this town in particular. Basically, they explain to you some of the correspondence that has started to happen between one Silent Hand member, Silas Creed, and the head minister of the church in town. Basically, the promo. He explains to you the promos that have been going on. And so reinforcements has kind of put some focus into this particular port.
What kind of correspondence?
Basically, so far, it's mostly been like introductions, some passive-aggressive comments from both sides. And he goes, if some of our suspicions are correct, Artan, it troubles me how dangerous it may be for you.
Yes, well,
We've tracked the traffickers to this location, and so we... Honestly, I fear that my focus will be divided.
What was that last part? Sorry.
I said I fear my focus may be divided.
Yes. The more we are looking into these things, Artan, the more we are finding things that are even a challenge for me. And I have been wondering, as there are many things to look into, many politics to align in order, if perhaps you would be better suited in another region of Aleph.
No. My place is here. The companions that I am working with. We have tracked the possible location to be at the town headman. Specifically, we are going to be attempting to infiltrate his gala later this weekend.
See. Understand. You are duty-bound. I trained you well. If you find you're in over your head, though, there are plenty of other and fulfilling opportunities. Of course, it's not my place to force your hand.
Nor would I ask you to. And if you did, well, then I'd probably lay you down on the ground.
The brother and sister here will keep tabs on different things around town. I will keep my own. You currently are our eyes. You currently are our in-person eyes and ears, rather than surveillance.
I will find what information I can, and if there's a possibility that I can take down this trafficking ring, then I will. But I fear it may go deeper than just a few corrupt politicians, because of the fact that we found a member of the Draconic Empire infiltrating the very church of this land. I fear it may be going even deeper there.
There's something strange about the nature of the minister. He is currently one of the oldest elves serving Pelor. Which doesn't sound weird, but with the livelihood that he carries on with, there's something amiss. I want you to be careful. I've cared for you for many years, and turning you out on your own, I found it hard to, I suppose, keep from overshadowing to make sure you're safe.
Do you fear that the minister of this town is using the dark arts?
I feel there is something fishy about this port town.
I've gathered that myself. The silent market is a heavy hand on this town.
Yes. Well, I should leave you to your things. You have a gala to prepare for. I believe you have some time to clean those robes a little bit, mend some of the tears. Those are pretty fine.
I do. I also plan on possibly getting a new one. A new suit, at least.
Certainly. Just make sure it hides the equipment.
Of course.
And
As always.
we end that scene.
I obviously exit the room and try to head back to my companions.
As you re-enter into the proper tavern room, inn room, whatever, you find that Raffa has come awake. Raffa, you see your assassin companion.
Welcome back.
Thank you, Raffa. Donatello, might I speak to you alone?
Donatello and the captain are currently at the docks.
Oh, crap.
Can you maybe tell me what's going on?
He goes into a T pose and just stares at the wall. No.
he glitches. He live glitches.
I mean, sometimes humans do just straight have a brain fart, They can't. The brain go blank. What's happened? I don't know. What has happened?
Why is this so funny to me?
Okay, so it was less of a brain fart and more of a wife.
We don't need to get into that.
Okay. Lord.
Sorry, that
Anyway,
threw me off my roll. I'm sorry, because it was just so unexpected. Anyways,
I look at Raffa and I say, well, I've just heard that the minister of this town is possibly corrupt and may be using some not good things.
not good things.
Where is everyone? Where's Donatello?
At that point, you hear a little piglet squeal from downstairs as you hear the tavern keeper trying to shush it and calm it, and he yells up, "They're at the docks!"
Was that directed at me?
That was directed at the two of you. Yeah.
What was that?
It was the innkeeper.
Okay. How can he hear us up here?
I'm a cat. I have pretty keen hearing. Tabaxi. Pedantic.
Okay, that's off-putting.
For example, I can tell you're hungry. The only thing is we don't serve lunch here.
What about second breakfast?
You hear him grumble as he slams a door downstairs.
Shall we go to the docks then?
How am I feeling?
You, other than, you don't feel debilitating. You don't feel good. You're good enough to move and stuff, but it's kind of like within those first few days after you've gotten over a really bad flu, where it's like, I can operate, but oh boy, does this not feel good.
I've really got to stop doing this kind of thing. Yeah, I suppose. Lead the way.
So
But don't run. I don't think I can handle that.
We get on stairs, and we head towards the docks.
And we cut to the docks. So when we last left you guys, it literally you just got out of the bottle. And you now have a ship. Or you just broke the bottle, and you now have a ship. What do you say as you start to hear the footsteps of dock guards running towards you?
I mean, I think it pretty much goes to sort of like what we did last time. The guards say, like, "Oi, what's going on?" And we, like, say, well, you see, we came out of a bottle and the ship came out.
Is that actually what Donatello tries doing?
Let's see if I can put it this way. Well, the first statement was, if I'm remembering last session, "What the devil is this?" And I said, I assure you, my friends, the devil had nothing to do with this.
Okay, yeah, it's okay. They had already caught up to you.
All we have to do is we paid a fee for the dock. I forgot how we paid it. I forgot how much it was.
Oh, did we handle that last time? I didn't realize.
Yes.
My apologies.
It's like right at the end. It's right at the end.
My apologies. Okay, yes, you've actually gotten that all sorted.
And we were sitting there, if not mistaken, Donatello could correct me on this. We were trying to discuss on what the name of the ship was going to be. That was going to be the next.
Yes.
Yep.
Her current name is the Relentless, after the undead nature of her former captain. We'll say enough time has transpired that by now, Zach and Blake, your characters are catching up.
As I walk up to them, I just look at this ship with this confused look on my face, and I say, "That wasn't there before. Where'd that come from?"
It's mine.
What the devil is this?
Did we book passage somewhere, or what's going on?
Well, you see, it's a bit of a long story, but it's also not a long story.
We only tell it in about 2-hour segments.
Right. I would say you would not believe us if we told you, but long story short, we came out of a bottle and that came along with it, so now we have a ship.
Dun, 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 a ship in a bottle.
That really didn't help me much.
Oh, would you look at that, Captain? You finally got your wish.
Yes. Can we call the ship Demon?
Actually, Raffa, you're a little familiar with seafaring too, aren't you?
In a second-hand kind of way, perhaps, yes.
Okay. So perhaps you haven't heard of this ship.
So, he does have you have naval experience.
Well, I mean, I was tied up in the bottom of it, but if you count that, perhaps.
He's familiar with the motion of the ocean.
Yes. Just tell me what to do and I can help.
All right.
Anyone... If anyone wants to spend a minute to, like, really closely examine the ship, if you could roll a perception check or insight. And Blake, if you want to do that, I can roll that for you.
Ouch.
Yeah, I don't have...
Okay.
Unless there's a way to do it on the app here, which I can't find. That's what I was looking at earlier.
There should be a way to do it. If you can get your character sheet up.
Oh, I have a basic roll.
How did you have a -1
Yeah.
and rolled a 19? Dude, Kyle, your rolls are amazing.
Kyle, you're a shipmaster. You've sailed before. This stuff, you've seen plenty of ship, but like how Donatello had explained that something supernatural had formerly been over this ship. As you're looking at it, the slight bow and bend of the hull, the slight in and out curve of the sails itself is more than just wind. You'd have to look deeper into it, but you could swear this ship, though it's standing, is moving as if it were alive in some way.
Going Mary, is that you?
Yeah.
Do I notice this too?
No.
Oof.
It's the most unique ship you've ever seen.
I've sailed on I've seen a lot of ships in my day, but this is still a pretty okay one. Looks like it might need a little work though. What do you think?
I love it.
Well then. I mean, since you're the captain after all, you're probably the one who make all the decisions. Do you think we need a shipmaster? Or...
First thing we need to do is get supplies if there's no supplies on the ship. Do I need to roll anything to check the ship, see if any supplies we need or anything?
Y'all have already been through it. Any food particles you saw were long since expired as a skeleton crew. But Tiss does not need to eat.
Be here all night, folks.
You'd have to give it an actual check to look into the munitions, supplies, and all of that. You know from the stories that you've heard that Captain Nectris did keep a well-armed vessel. That's not to say that they might have tried blasting their way out of the bottle over however long they've been in there. But
I'd like to check everything if you don't mind.
you spend about half an hour checking, and yeah, it's not dangerously low, but before you do any major sailing, you feel like you should top off powder, cannonry.
Check the ropes.
The ropes are all actually in good condition. Of course, when there was a slight transformation of this ship itself being healed, as it was relieved of the captain's curse. Even in the captain's quarters, you find that there's a picture of what the former captain looked like in life.
Cool.
I look at the... one sec. My apologies. I look at the captain and I say, Captain, do you plan on renaming the vessel, or do you wish to keep it the Relentless?
I want to call it Genie because it came out of a bottle.
I dream of Jeannie, she's a brown schooner.
Captain, must you go with everything so literal? Do you have any imagination at all?
Yes. She's my ship. She's named Genie.
Out of character, he has a -1 in wisdom.
Is this a Forrest Gump reference?
Wasn't his ship called the Jenny or something?
Yeah.
He's just making the straightforward, it was a genie, it was in a bottle.
Wait.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Would imagination be wisdom, or would it be something else?
I'd imagine that'd be wisdom.
Yeah, it's not intelligence.
Intelligence is what you know. Wisdom is how you apply what you know.
Mhm.
So I got a 2 in intelligence and 3 in charisma.
So you're smart, but not creative.
Yeah.
He's silly with style.
Well, okay, so he's smart and he's convincing. He's just stupid.
Well, I'm smart. I just can't use the wisdom. We can't use the knowledge I have. That's all it is.
So like your typical high school jock. Okay.
Or no, don't you mean like your typical WWE superstar?
Oh my gosh.
I'm thinking more like Han Solo.
And the DM is just looking at us like, why are you
No,
guys
I'm eyeballing the comments, making sure that he didn't just call Kyle a slur.
Oh my gosh.
Jeremiah, what is that?
Oh, that's terrible. Oh man.
That's the name of
Chaos,
the
you haven't met the Lord of Mold yet?
I've met the Lord of Mold. He's
No. Chaos Chaser
Okay.
hasn't. Chaos
Okay.
Chaser hasn't.
That's
Oh.
just one of the supposed fallen angels. Okay.
Indeed. Anyway, so all of us, of course, laughing at this interesting ship name.
Particularly as you have been walking around the ship, Kyle specifically, with loose ends of ropes, with little details that could move a little more than, say, larger parts of the ship. You've noticed like ropes drawn or lazily move about. As it does, the more you're around this ship, the more your initial hunch that I could swear this ship was alive.
Mm-hmm.
There is something like the rug from Aladdin. There is something alive about this ship, and it really only responds to you in that way.
Mm-hmm. This goes right along with Cap's personality. Just to let you know, that's
If everybody else saw it, it'd be like, oh my gosh, the ship is alive. But with the captain, it's just like moving right along.
yeah.
Hey, why did you actually sound like Kermit there?
Moving right along.
It's the
Bear in its natural habitat. That's Studebaker.
Waka.
Anyways,
Is that a Shakira impression?
So let's go to the marketplace and get some supplies. Get some. How's the munitions look? The cannonball.
It's not too. I should pull out a actual thing that might tell me prices. Yeah, it's something you want to top off, but everything's been at the worst half depleted.
How's the treasury look on the ship?
There is a large coffin that you assume is a safe in the captain's quarters that you would need to pick the lock of to examine.
Shoot it off.
I can pick the lock. I can do that for him.
Did I just hear him correctly? Did he say that he wanted to shoot the lock?
Roll for it.
What do I roll?
To hit with your gun. Pew pew. Roll damage. You foul the mechanism, and you're able to open it.
Well, that's Oh, the assassin was so shocked, he vanished.
I thought I could hear him for a second. I was like, I hear you.
I thought he did.
I hear you, spirit, but I do not see you.
Right.
Tell me, spirit, are these visions of things that are or things that may be?
Oh my goodness.
Shoot, that would probably be this other book that tells me about Seafair.
I honestly think that would be how the other captain would make his way through locked doors.
D&D. Okay. Nope, those just tell me the weaponry. Where'd he go? Did his internet cut?
Yeah, probably.
Boom, 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 boom.
I got the roll if anybody needs it.
Fun fact, a peg leg would only cost you 10 gold pieces.
I still got both legs. I don't need a peg leg.
Remember, guys, demons here in this store are buy one, get one free.
Right.
Check it. 2 demons.
2 demons for the price of 1.
Let's count them. 2
Okay.
demons.
So, it'll take you time to count the gold. When you get into town, gunpowder, you just need like another barrel of gunpowder. That'll cost you about 100 gold pieces.
One keg, alright.
That'll include, yeah, and that'll include cannonballs with it.
How many cannonballs?
30.
So 1 keg and 30 cannonballs is 100, right?
At least in this port town, and of the kind that you're trying to get. Yes.
All right. Now, how much was in the coffin?
Trying to think smartly because I don't want to give y'all too much money.
We need to buy food also.
But I like money.
It's
And I need to pay off my shield.
full. You do. It's full of elvish doubloons that come out as when you, at some point, you basically take a whole the rest of the afternoon to kind of take this to the bank, basically. It will come out to, in proper currency, 1,000 gold pieces.
So we divide that in between 5 of us.
That's 200 apiece.
I protest. I did nothing to earn this.
Oh.
Take it as a gift, Raffa.
The little light side, dark side bar comes up on your HUD and it moves closer to the light side. No.
Paragon for the win.
Sean will remember
I'll take
that.
only enough to equip myself a little bit better. I am in need of a good staff.
Right.
And I would like it to be gilded.
Okay.
Well,
Assassin.
well, I look at him and say, well, you need to also, if you think that way, provide for the ship that you're going to be using the supplies on the ship too.
Of course. What do you need?
We need food.
Any requests?
Whatever you find.
Whatever you find. Roger that, Captain.
Zach, what did you want to say?
I was gonna say that I'm gonna have to go now because I can't access Roll20 on my phone because my phone decided to go on the fritz with cell service.
Oh, okay.
Because right now I'm on my iPad, which is where I was doing Roll20. So,
Sure.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I will not be able to stay for the entire session.
Alright.
Understandable, brother.
So, Steven, if you are available when y'all are done with the session, you can text me on Discord. I'll talk to you guys later.
Take care.
Of course.
All right, have a good night.
God bless. And then there were 3.
Help!
So
So just to make sure, how much did I get?
everyone, personal choices notwithstanding, everyone should receive 200 GP.
Okay. So that's 400. 406. I'm trying to find my old records to see how much money that I need to pay off for my shield. I think I'm almost done.
I think it's like 300, and you just need like monthly payments.
Mm-hmm. So I can probably send off 100 right now.
Well, we got 3 people. We need a flag also. What's our banner going to be?
Why not the image of Palor?
Sounds good to me.
So you go to. There is actually like because this is a major port town. There is a whole like the shipyard includes like ship making, cannon. Like there's a whole dedicated facility of blacksmiths. There's an entire shop dedicated to making custom flags. You can commission.
So the symbol of Palor is the symbol that's used for the church.
Yes.
There.
Yep.
Okay.
Basically, it's two intersecting convex concave.
It looks like a messed up Mason symbol, but okay.
Yeah. It's 2 overlapping chevrons.
You got to draw that.
I have many a time. Literally, the example picture to you is a hand drawing of what it looks like.
What's the color scheme going to be then, Donatello?
I kind of want to be selfish, but I really do kind of want to be selfish. But Captain, I'll leave that to you. It is your ship.
Well, I was whatever represents the church better. What color?
That would be a vibrant blue.
Yes.
Vibrant blue background, or
the background. The actual symbol itself could be in a variety of ways. It could be simple black. It could be white. The shop you see does have a gilded thread. That there are examples. There's examples on the wall of flags, battle-worn flags that people came in to have replacements made of, that had the gold thread on there.
okay.
I vote white with silver gilding.
Huh?
I vote white with silver gilding.
White with silver gilding.
I like gold.
I was
Say gold.
I was thinking black with gold with the blue symbol.
Oh, with a blue. Ooh.
Would you be able to see that from a distance?
You'd be able to see the gold outmarkings.
I mean,
I would just wonder
if the
the
backdrop
identification
is black.
from far away.
If the backdrop is black and there's white or whatever color in the scheme, that's normally how pirate flags work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
There's
other
a lot
captains
of
have
blue.
telescopes, so
Hiding in plain sight, I guess.
if you want, you can table this discussion and come up with it on a different timescale, or we can hash this out now. Actually, I'm very happy to pad the runtime for our barbarian. So,
I mean,
I think the blue background with the white symbol, gilded in silver, I think would be pretty cool looking.
All right, that's your okay. Cool.
I don't know.
It's very nautical.
It is very nautical, and I mean, I like both. I really do like both. So let me just get this. Let me get this straight in my head. Raffa, you want the blue background with white as the symbol to be white and gilded, and the symbol to be gilded on the outside with gold.
Silver, but gold would be all right.
Gilded with silver. And so, Captain, you want a black background with what color for the symbol to be?
The same color blue that would have been on the background for the church.
All right, so with blue, and is it gilded or ungilded?
Gilded with gold.
Gilded with gold. Now that is an interesting choice. Now, DM, quick question: How blue is the blue? Because if it's too dark, it will.
Well, I'm going by the blue, assuming it's the same color blue as the church on the map.
Yeah, if I'm looking right at my icon, the blue would probably be a bit too dark.
Oh, it's light.
It can be a blue like that. Sometimes the color can vary a little bit because we're in a period of time where dyes aren't always refined the purest. Most clerical garb tends to be maybe a shade lighter than a lot of like official banners. But there is really nowhere in the textbooks that's like a banner of the Holy Order must be so and so a color.
So I believe having a diplomatic ship with democracy.
So, for example, I'll blow up Lance's image so you can see what shade of blue he's wearing. That's like one of the typical.
Oh, okay.
It's slightly turquoisey.
Yeah. I mean, so it show up, and it's gold.
You're saying
I changed my vote.
Background, the color, you're saying have the background the color of the turquoise blue?
No, I had changed my vote.
Yeah.
I was thinking like a navy blue.
Yeah,
but if it's that, I think yours sounds better.
Well, it can be whatever you want, and that wouldn't even be considered apropos.
Right, but I still like the idea of that sort of blue being the actual symbol, and then it being gilded with gold with a black background. That's great. I like that. So, Raffa, do you agree?
Sure.
Ha-ha!
What is the captain's sway?
That was my original.
One of the comments I feel I could voice for Nella, she would say that she likes gold.
I like gold.
See, to me, I was thinking black background with navy blue symbol would be like you couldn't like tell the difference enough
navy
with
blue.
The contrast, but with that color, that'll contrast nicely. So
yeah. I got to design that on the graphics.
If you're using a tablet for Roll20, I get on my tablet the blue is a little darker, but the blue is fairly light on my computer where I actually made it.
I really do smile at this, and I quote to myself, "How good and pleasant it is when brothers dwell in unity. It is like precious oil poured upon the head, running down the beard."
So you commission the flag. The standard commission fee, because of the quality of it, materials notwithstanding, is 100 GP, 100 gold. For the additional materials and dyes, because of their values, it'll come out to 120 gold pieces for this particular banner.
All right,
hand over my 22.
I'll go ahead and pay for that and the keg with the cannonballs, so that'll be 230.
All right. So to clarify, are you paying because he said he threw in his 22 into the pot? Yeah, you're going to adjust for that?
You threw on how much?
I'll put in my fifth.
So 22, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So 22.
All right, and she'll have that. The sewing mistress will have that prepared for you by the end of the week. So basically Saturday, Sunday, around then.
Nice.
Wonderful.
I'd like to take a trip to the blacksmithing area if we could.
Okay.
So you did 22 minus 120. That's 98.
You
I have to pay.
who else accompanies him to the blacksmithery?
I'll accompany him.
All right.
I sure hope you noticed the number that I chose.
What, 22?
Yes. No? We'll talk after.
What, you mean like Psalm 22?
No. Not you.
As you approach, you reach it right at the. You can hear this. There's a number of smiths in there, and they're just at the end of kind of communally singing the hammer and the anvil song. As you enter.
I am the blacksmith singing the hammer and the anvil song.
And as one final succinct clang on the cannons and the cannon
I think
balls
all
and
of
the
it.
different things they're working on, you find yourself in the midst of what we would familiarize ourselves with as like a 1920s, 1940s, basically like a hand train factory kind of shop dealio. It's for as much as mechanism does not exist, this is a very mechanized and Ford production line kind of vibe of a place.
So what can I see that's for sale?
Well, actually, right up front, they had a whole lineup of let's see, predominantly like three different cannons. Oh, that was on the previous page. Oh yeah, there's a basic small swivel gun. They're advertising. There's a 16-pound. There's a 6-pounder cannon, a 24-pounder, and a 32-pounder. Just on display with varying levels of detail. And one of the things you notice as you look everywhere in the shop is it becomes clear that, especially since there's a number of dwarves, of hill dwarves that are a part of this operation, they're a kind who take great pride in their craft, meaning not just whatever they make, but specifically anything they make needs to have that special touch that only they've done. Only they pound this kind of filigree. That one, it's analyzing specifically just dwarven art in the world of Aleph is like trying to assess any master in comparison with the other masters.
Is it all just large arms for ships, or do they have any armors and small arms and any of that?
There is a small production of basically the equivalent of like flak jackets. Like, oh, you're going to be on a ship, you're going to want a little something when the shrapnel comes your way. Nothing
I actually would be
terrible.
interested in that.
Okay, as a monk, you do know that you do gain a better benefit by not wearing armor. You have your unarmored.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm squishy.
You're squishy. Yeah, you can get a basic flak jacket. It would be.
I mean, is it too heavy? Is it heavy enough to be like considered that kind of armor?
It would be studded leather.
And that's crossing the line.
Does it say that you're proficient in it? It would be you have a tab for proficiencies. It should be the bottom left of your front page character sheet.
No, it's all languages.
Okay. Yeah. So you're not proficient in it. So.
Mhm. Well, are there any choices for stabs, or is it something that I need to go and talk to one of them to commission?
Asking around, you find this dwarf that's just pounding away at a cannon. He's like, "I know we don't do anything that small around here, but if you go upstate a little, where the people like to flow money like wine on the ground, you can find someone who will gild that for you."
Fair enough. Thanks for the info.
He doesn't even respond. He just goes right back to pounding away on the cast iron cannon he's working on. Thank you.
So is he leaving? Raffa, are you leaving?
Yeah.
Donatello follows him out, humming the Hammer and the Anvil song as off in a far, far, far away place. A certain Dragonborn is humming along with him.
And it does happen to have it should have some slight impact to you with its notes about the ills of warmongering.
Yep.
With your familiarity with the machine that is sentience, killing sentience for little to no good reason.
Yeah, as he remembers his fallen brothers, he remembers the lyrics. When the gods of war come calling, promising you gold, they'll take your hammer, take your anvil, take your very soul.
Yep. Captain, what are you doing as the others have broken off from you?
Looking for the shop to buy more bullets.
Okay.
Or is there enough bullets on the spare bullets on the ship?
One second, sorry, I'm responding to something.
I was about to say, do they have the same gun?
I mean, the bullets are in. It's all musket. I mean, it's all black powder, so it's going to pretty much fit the musket. Or
yeah, sorry. Could you repeat that? My apologies.
Is there enough? How many rounds of spare ammo for bullets are they on the ship?
There's enough to fill your. Oof. I'm familiar with Civil War era firearms. I'm not familiar with flintlock. Your fuseries and you can for about 25 GP you refurbish your very well at this point taxed supply of ammunitions.
For 25, all right.
And for anyone who knows D&D and they're going, that sounds like a lot of gold. Maybe. Also take into consideration this is a gold dollar.
Yeah.
And this is a silver 50 piece. So.
Wow.
And also, I'm trying to think what role to assign everybody for the ship too.
All right. Good news. About 30 minutes until Barbarian should. Well, okay, then travel time. Anyways, we don't have to filibuster for another hour. I should hope. Not that we're filibustering. We are getting through plot, but I want this is going to end up being a little bit longer of a night. Just a curse smidgen. Anyways, sorry.
So is the directions that he gave me, is that going to be somewhere far off, or is that somewhere I can go?
It's just outside the docks. You instantly get into. It's actually the West Market. I mistakenly labeled it the East Market when I was making this map. I don't know how that happened. So yeah,
Maybe it's east to the rich homes. It's east of them.
so as you look around, maybe, maybe because it's from their perspective, because
Huh?
aristocracy. So the South and North Market are middle low class quality, especially the Northern Market because you're getting into the rural part. Whereas the Eastern Market is, knowing that there's a gala coming up from your conversation with the rest of your party at this point, you know that's where you're going to want to be to get good outfits, to get tailor-made, whatever. This is also an opportunity for y'all to figure out what you're going to wear to the gala, to redesign. You have, well, some of you have 200 gold in your pocket.
It's burning a hole.
There's a question of you can accessorize. The captain could probably maybe find on some rack a proper admiral's uniform.
Let's see. Can I go back to the cathedral and basically get one of the adorned bishop's garments, possibly like a cope or something.
By the time you get back, everyone has left their homes except for Ebed, the Triton, who seems to be the lowest rung of the deacons there. Yes.
Hello, my dear friend. It is good to see you again.
He bows and goes, "What brings you here, friend?"
Of course, I am getting ready for a banquet with a few friends, and I do want to represent our faith well. I was wondering if the cathedral had any of the priestly garments or any of the bishop's garments.
Can
Can
you roll an insight check?
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
Okay. You're aquatic. You come from a aquatic in an amphibious upbringing and habitat. You notice you're vaguely familiar with tritons. When you mentioned the banquet, his gills flared slightly.
Mm-hmm.
In a manner that you perceive as basically he at the mention of that, there's a slight anxiety that has come over him.
What is wrong, my friend? What can I do for you?
It is nothing. Just I was
There
not
is no such
invited.
thing.
I was not invited, unlike the other fathers.
Well, why were you not invited, dear one?
He kind of shrugs and continues pushing the broom.
I lay my hand upon his shoulder. Then I invite you.
His pupils that kind of look like galaxies in their strange formulation almost seem to like dilate just a little in kind of like an awe reaction. I would be honored to be your brother Donatello. Uh, hmm.
I slightly chuckle. Of course, of course. I mean, it would be a little bit fun for a deacon to be the the aid of a dear bishop.
I'll,
And of course, I do not know my way around here, so you will be an appropriate guide.
of course, I'll be your charge. I'll have to put on my formal garments and is there anything else I can help you with, sir?
Speaking of formal garments, I will need some of the best for representing the Great Palor there. So, if you would mind pointing me to them.
He kind of does the little like come here motion, like he's trying to hide something, and he leads you into the back rooms behind the stage of the sanctuary where like the different instruments and stuff are kept. And he leads you to a storage closet.
Drums?
Huh?
Drums?
Yeah, there's like that set of bongos that every church has.
And
A
they're
djembe?
they're just hiding right behind the organ.
They never use it, but it's there. You know, cherry red dyed wood. I think literally both of the churches I've been to have like had that. One on stage, another behind the stage, I swear. Anyways, um
Wow.
so he leads you back into the supply area and he opens to a closet. And he offers you what, from the beauty of everything around, you can only assume is the archbishop's, like his like if like you're meeting the pope priestly garments.
Mm. So these can be worn by anyone in the clergy. Well, anyone in the bishop, archbishop.
um they're As you look at them, they're loose enough that they would fit. You might have
Okay.
to exclude a certain section or two. Uh,
Uh-huh.
uh,
But like they could be, I mean, like allowance wise, they could be worn by any of the higher members of the clergy.
this would fall more into the line. The markings on it are more the line of personal effects. Um,
Okay.
because the biggest difference in rank, quote unquote, between you and the archbishop is more
Hmm.
about age and actual position than
Yeah.
ultimate
Right.
role, especially because of your particular position, because you've been a combat cleric. You are
Yeah.
and your age and your wisdom, you're basically um you're effectively a minister who's not tied down to a church. You're not an archbishop simply because you're not in charge of a diocese. You just go around, kind of
Sure.
thing.
Sure. So, uh, of course, I take them and place them on, um, and then I adorn them with my own symbols in relation to the clerical garments.
And
Um,
his being that he's Ordo Patri, as you are also, his garments specifically are deep maroon,
mm,
with gold
mm.
filigrees and patterns.
Oh, I like that. That's real pretty. Great. Now I look like the epitome of Christmas.
As you examine specifically that kind of stole,
Hmm.
you notice that the filigree of it depicts basically Daniel in the lion's den.
Ah, well then, seems fitting, does it not? I turn to the Triton and show him the stole.
He looks basically like he's basically acting towards you like the little kid from A Christmas Carol when Ebenezer like turns the luck on him and is like, "Go get a turkey, have a bag." He's overjoyed. He's almost blushing in a fishly way.
Really, sir?
He is awestruck by your generosity. Um,
That looks really awesome, sir.
um,
That's really how I look at it. Like, and I grab the gilded staff, along with my own. Um,
he quickly files through the coat rack and grabs his own formal garment, which is still, you can tell it it's less adorned than everyone else's. Uh,
right.
and overall, you're pretty smart. Um, you're getting the feeling that actually, nah, give me an insight check.
Okay. Can I re-roll that?
You may. You don't even need to use your advantage. Your
Why?
I'll just say this: it's easy enough to tell because you've been
Yeah.
through the clergy, especially in the Ordo in the Cathedra Patri, the seat of the fathers tradition.
Uh-huh.
It is very centric towards high elves and humans as a close second. Um, it is very likely from the way that he is acting, the way that he's perking up at your attention and your own experiences, that though he is a high member of this church, he is one of the lowest members in the eyes of the human and elven overseers to him.
Hmm. I I walk towards him, and is he wearing the garments now?
He's making sure they'll fit, but because they're actually fitted, he'd have to doff what he's wearing in a changing room, so he's not gone and done that yet.
Sure. And so what I do is that I take the gilded crozier, and I place it, or at least I tap those garments and then tap him. Young one.
And at this point, he does kind of flush. He's like, I could never, sir.
Yes, you can. By the work of the great Palor on our behalf, he has made all of us one. That means no matter how much your physical state, being covered in his righteousness, you are equal.
He he kind of he's like fighting to maintain his composure and breathing. Uh,
I uh I reach out and hug him.
he freezes. And to answer the comment, it's I mean, this is kind of a both. This is a faith-based D&D campaign. And he takes. Do you give him the full garment or just the stole?
You know what? I'm gonna be edgy. Give him the full garment.
You've seen Carmichael's eyes somehow, inexplicably, get wider. His eyes do the exact same thing as he goes into the changing room.
I chuckle and begin to read uh or just begin to admire the outfit. I rarely get to wear this as often as I want to. This is
which,
amazing.
which outfit did you give him?
I just gave him an adorn. Well, it's still a deacon's outfit. He still remains in his office, but it's the adorned one, which is typically used for. I mean, of course, as you said, for high elves and humans. So he's still in his rank, but equal.
Okay, yeah. You gave, to put it in terms I'm more familiar with doing reenacting. You told the corporal that he can put on his NCO sash for morning parade. Okay, and with that, we're going to go into a little bit of a break where you can introduce yourselves a little more in depthly, the other things you do, where other people can find you. Feel free to glut your YouTubes, any podcasts you do. But that will start, of course, as always, with Kyle giving us a gospel break.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, children of all ages, gather around and let me tell you a story about a man named Adam who screwed up everything and blamed God. Because of him, we're all born into sin. All have sinned and fell short of the glory of God. None are good, no, not one. None are righteous, no, not one. And the wages of sin is death. It means if we stood before a just, holy, righteous God today, we would be condemned of our sinful action. But there's good news, aka the gospel. 2,000 years ago, Jesus Christ came, perfect man, perfect God, born of a virgin, lived a perfect, sinless life, went to Calvary and died for our sins, was buried and rose again on the third day. If you confess your mouth that Jesus Christ is Lord, believe in your heart God rose from the dead, you shall be saved. Today is the day of the Lord's salvation. He stands at the door and knocks. The question is, are you going to answer? And if you've already answered, please share the gospel. It's the marching orders, dudes. And also, if you're already saved, get your butt in a pew. You need to be discipled.
Amen. Exactly. Kyle, would you mind plugging your stuff and letting us know who you are?
All right, I am Kyle St. Andrews. You can find all my stuff at kylestandrews.com. Also, the link in the bios. And also, there's a Discord now where TWC is running like a well-oiled machine. It is a beast I can't control no more. The Discord is a hub where we're going to other platforms to share the gospel on other social media platforms. So that's also the link in the bios.
Right. And so is that the TikTokers working for Christ or the Trinitarians working for Christ? I heard that the name has changed.
Yes, the name has changed. We are called the Trinitarians Working for Christ now because we are going to other platforms because we're not just on TikTok no more. But if anybody wants to call it TikTokers over here, they still can.
Nice, dude. Nice. Blake, do you want to go next or should I?
Sure, I'll go ahead and fire away. So you can see my handle is eDisciple. One of the reasons that I'm on TikTok, I do apologetics here and there, but really it's more about bringing in new believers or people that are curious about the faith and trying to help disciple them as an interim between where they're at and getting involved with a local body of Christ, church pastor, and getting them discipled. So on my channel, you'll find some teaching stuff. I get into some depth on things, especially eschatology. It's one of my things. And I do have a YouTube channel that deals with a whole bunch of different topics surrounding the faith. And so yeah, I'm on TikTok, Instagram, kind of Facebook. Not really. I post sometimes. But yeah, and I'm a part of the Men of the Way podcast, which is a boy, how do we describe it? 4 guys who have some slight differences in their beliefs in the Christian faith. I'm pretty close to where Jeremiah is, but yeah, I guess that's about it.
It's like the Men of the Way is the definition of ecumenism.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Okay, I'm back. Who's gone? Who's not gone yet?
Yeah, I'm
One
the only
left.
one who hasn't gone yet. So, of course, you guys can find me here on TikTok at BlackDoctor21. I do a lot here in relation to theology, apologetics, primarily apologetics against Islam, and advocating for the Christian faith, particularly the universal faith of the entire church. You can also find me on YouTube at The Black Doctor, where I post theology videos, fun videos, some of the stuff that you can't necessarily find on here. I'm also on Instagram, where you can easily message me and get in contact with me. There's also my Patreon, which is found in my Linktree in my bio, where you can get exclusive stuff. For example, audiobooks, which is available at the lowest tier, exclusive live streams found in the second tier, church history lessons, where you can get a seminary level knowledge of church history for a very, very infinitesimally small fraction of the price. But now I have just added a new tier, the Archiepiscopos tier, where for $10 a month you get access to all the other stuff and to boot it off, exclusive personalized AI art, which is done by a really, really good friend of mine, Solomon Wisdom Art. He does really, really great stuff. Everyone whom I've always pointed to him and commissioned him always have really great reviews. Great stuff.
Wait, can you explain, because I'm confused? It's a guy who does AI art? Does he refurbish it after it's been processed, or?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's AI art that he does edits to.
Yes. He does really, really good work. Like, you see the AI art that I have all on my channel?
Okay.
That's his work.
Okay.
So he does some really, 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 really great stuff.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Because if you were just plugging hey, go to this guy to get AI art, it's like, huh?
What do you mean?
Why a middleman?
Right. Is because
That makes more
I
sense.
Yeah, I don't have that. I don't have that kind of quality,
Right, because
or that kind of skill. But what else? Oh yeah. Also check out my merch store where I sell T-shirts and stuff. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's all I do. Oh, I'm also I have my hand in a lot of things like an octopus. I have my hands in a lot of D&D campaigns, including with Stephen the Stole, the Tales of Aesir, and Journey Through Miro, where I play Athanasius and Balgroth the Dark, respectively. And as Blake just said, I am a co-host on the Men of the Way podcast. Where we, out of multiple denominations, come together and teach about theology, apologetics, and work for the Christian life.
Stuff.
And just
so I do a lot of stuff.
And for the audience who doesn't know, so like as an artist, and Kyle is also an artist, AI generation is whatever. There's already stuff. There's already ethics debates coming out of it. But I guess if you're taking that and you're actually making art off of that, sure. I've done plenty of things where I based stuff off another picture, or I traced and then I made my own edits to it. So
sure.
Anyone wanting to raise an eyebrow at that with the explanation, yeah, it seems all right. So who am I? Who am I? I don't know where to find the clip to edit in the Jackie Chan movie clip, but
roll for perception.
You.
Who am I? I am Stephen the Stole, or Stephen Stole on TikTok. But I'm presuming I'm going to be talking to the YouTube audience. Moreover, you know me as Lone Jedi 100. I, of course, do this, a D&D podcast. I do the other videos you can find on my channel, such as currently I'm doing a Let's Play of the original Worms 1995, a lovely turn-based artillery shooter game, where you're worms! It is so fun. I was raised with the sequel, and the original does not truly disappoint. And I do other Let's Plays. I was trying to do a Halo playthrough. I'm doing another series where I make a storyline with toys, because I have a lot of those that I need to get back to, but I need to paint a character, because I'm sorry, they weren't made with the right color for their character, and I'm pedantic. But I do theology and apologetics. I have a podcast, Most Excellent Theophilus, that you can find on most places where podcasts are distributed, specifically Spotify. And I am working with a very special someone to me on making another podcast that is just our ramblings, that you'll hear more about as time progresses. Of course, yes, I DM this game, Tomes of Time. I also play, as mentioned, in a game called Tales of Aesir, as a share, the drow prophet. I also play as You Get No Tail in Journey Through Miro by Nola Moore, where, I'm a kobold. And that's about all that's actually relevant about looking into me offline, I would say.
Patreon?
Oh, that's... Good man.
Money!
Good man. As was mentioned before, I do have, pedantically, I have a merch, I have a Cash App. Yeah, whatever.
That works.
I have a Redbubble, which only gives me, like, a small percentage of what you actually pay for my products, sadly.
You got the based puppy pics.
I do. I have a Patreon that currently only has 2 followers. Jaden. Oh, I'm not a prophet though. A share is a prophet, but I only pretend to be him.
A prophet.
The Patreon, I need to change up. I need to figure out a actual mainline content to do, and I need to change it up because I can't do what I used to do to the same capacity for a number of reasons. But the main thing I've done on there is I've done basically, I'll put it this way, a tipsy reading of the phonetic King James 1611 and Tyndale New Testament, along with a bloopers reel for that, and as one of my subscribers pointed out, there is a running series for the lowest tier membership of what is called Lou's Corner, where I show off my lovely cute dog, depressingly for what time I have left with him, because he's going to be 13 years old this November 19th. And he has diabetes, and that's not pity or anything. That's just to be like, hey, I just want to point out my dog. I love my dog. He's adorable.
Diabetes.
But he's going through some stuff, and so anyways, with all of that underway, Cam, we return with someone who I was worried I was shafting a little bit with the storyline at before the break. Captain, what have you been doing in the meantime, while the others have gone off and done things with the church?
Well, we're supposed to be getting our wardrobe and.
Yes, you can very much easily go into the part of it where you go and figure that out. Yes.
Yeah, I want to go on the ship and see if there's, like you said, an admiral code. But also, I gotta cover a couple more things about the ship. Sorry.
Oh no,
my new toy.
One, perfectly fine to filibuster time for a certain someone to get here. And two, yeah, this is supposed to be sort of a techie episode for that stuff. So.
Okay. First thing, to keep record, I love keeping record stuff. All right, I bought 30 cannonballs a while ago with that keg, powder keg.
Right.
How many cannonballs was on the ship that you roughly know?
Okay.
That's on the ship?
What to Sean? What would be like the average amount that should be on a ship?
Let's see how many cannons we have. Let's see if I can remember the last time we were on top of the ship. We had 8 cannons on either side. So
that's about right. Let me double check.
No, there's one in the back too. There was 9.
There was 2 in the back.
2 in the back. That's 10 total.
So it looks like top and middle deck have 8 each side. Top deck has 2 on the back. So that's 18 cannons in toto.
So roughly.
No, I'm sorry. That's 20 cannon. That's 20 cannons. There's also 2 in the front. Forget. I'm sorry.
Now, I had to break character for 2 seconds, if you don't mind.
No, that's fine.
We have a fellow Marine down there who probably has a little more naval knowledge than I do. How many cannonballs will they have usually beside a cannon?
I mean, we're calling back on more historian knowledge, I think, but okay.
Yeah, I was asking Blake.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I'm just imagining how long it takes to reload a cannon.
And
like during a battle, if they're all manned, I mean, 50 per?
50 per?
That sounds like that sounds like budget.
Too much?
To me, honestly.
Well,
Really?
I was looking at about 10 or 5 or 10 per.
I mean, how big are they? Are they the kind that are like this, or are they the kind that are like the size of your head?
They're a little more like it's easily handled. So I'd say there's currently in stock with your run through of it. It's down to about 50 per cannon. But
50
you,
per cannon?
from your experience, Captain, you know there's usually more. Like, a fair amount more.
So that's about 20.
Oh, let us pause for a second as someone is here.
Dude, that's a lot of cannonballs. That's 1,000 cannonballs plus the 30 I bought. We're not running out of cannonballs. All right, next question, if you don't mind me asking.
Yeah.
What type of maps do we have on the ship?
You have a mostly... It's different from the map you're familiar with from things. But it does seem to be a fairly thorough map of Aelith.
Okay, so is it out of date? Do I need to go get an updated map, or?
You can tell it was hand-drawn. It seems accurate. It seems good enough. But you feel like there's some... You can tell from the form of it that there's still some places to go that have not yet been charted on this map. It's a lot more... You have a map as a party. You have a map of just Calibri. And this shows everything. This says Cambria. This has the other places that the name is not coming to mind. Yeah.
Okay.
Not every single place is like labeled. You can tell this is basically a living historical record of where one of the 7 famed captains of the seas has been. And with that, we're going to play a little catch-up with one Nelovocaine. If you'd like to unmute, and what has Nella been up to in the time since the ship was created, searched through?
Just looking around.
Okay. Around the ship, around town.
Around the ship.
Okay.
Kinda seeing if it's
Roll perception. As you do that, I'm going to say to the newest comment, no, the Torah is actually that by which we are judged unworthy of God, and therefore need the way, the truth, and the life, which is Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach, the Holy One. As you look around the ship, you notice this strange way in which it is. Sometimes well-worn wood can kind of breathe and bend, and sails, of course, move, but it's not moving with the wind. It's moving as if the ship itself were taking slight breaths in and out, as if this ship itself is in some way alive.
She's going to go into the lower deck to look around.
You don't see much different, although much better than the last time you were here. The molds, the grimes, even even the corpses that you left before are now vacant.
I guess she's gonna get off the ship now.
Okay.
And just regroup.
The group is going off and doing disparate things. After a little bit, something catches the assassin's eye, and he has to duck out, as he often does. Donatello had...
Tell her about her gold.
Huh?
Tell her about her gold.
Oh, I already informed her.
Okay.
Oh wait. Actually, yeah, I want to see her live. I want to see her live reaction. Nella, you kind of probably end up following the captain back in, because I'm guessing he mumbles something about the ship's gold or treasury, and you're like, gold. And you watch as you're in the captain's quarters, and there's just this coffin, with a lock. And I want to say, Captain, correct me if this is wrong, I pictured this as basically you kind of him and haw at it for a moment. Would you say that's accurate?
Yeah.
And then he just pulls out his flintlock pistol and just shoots the lock. And kicks it open. And there's what ultimately amounts to 1,000 gold inside. So 200 for each of you. It's elvish doubloons that, when rendered properly, comes out to that much. It may have been more, it may have been less. We're not going to get into a debate about how inflation is insane.
Also, I want to see her response. The name I chose.
If the ship responds? So where are you on the ship when you try to talk about its name? And how do you do it?
I'm talking about Noel's response.
Oh, okay, Noel's response when you float. So yeah, you communicate to her.
We're calling the ship Genie because it came out of a bottle.
To which I, as the DM, joked out of God mode. I dream of Jeannie, she's a brown schooner. Even though this is a galleon, not a schooner.
Wow.
Well, I'm here, Christina Aguilera.
Good night.
So yeah. Specifically, Kyle, since you're saying the potential name of the ship while on the ship, could you roll an insight for me, really quick?
All right. Oh, no.
Okay.
You're too caught up in communicating with people.
Look, my ship. It's got a rope. It's got a...
Good Romans. So commenter, we've read Paul. Paul has some definite things to say about the law, like in Ephesians 3, I think.
You probably should read the beginning of chapter 2 and then read past verse 15. Put it in its context rather than cherry picking them, because
and Galatians
doesn't say what he thinks it says.
And Galatians, if we're made right by the law, Christ died in vain. I believe is how that chapter concludes. Sorry. Anyways, back to dungeon.
Yeah. I was gonna say the best thing that he could do is just, stop trying to cause arguments in the comments and pay attention to what we're actually doing.
Right. We're here for entertainment. We're here for education, but we're also here for entertainment.
We're hardwired. It is what it is.
So yeah, Noel, what else does Nella get up to? You know, you're waiting on you have a pig going. You have a pig being cared for.
Right. She's just gonna go make sure that Techna is still doing okay.
Alright. As you enter the tavern, the inn, you're not really hearing much other than something from the supply closet Deacon told you not to worry about.
I'm gonna go open it.
Okay. Let me scroll up to where I'd written about that. No? Okay. Oh, right. You find Deacon's pantry. As you open the door, you see just this whole pantry room and cooking assemblage that is being ran by weasels, ferrets, organizing, chopping. Sorry, they're all weasels. And then there's this one ferret standing on top of a barrel over all of them, kind of squeaking around orders. And he turns to you, and as he turns to you, a tabaxi paw clasps your shoulder and pulls you out of the room, slamming the pantry door shut, and goes, "Don't you disturb Tassel, okay?"
She's gonna punch him for grabbing her shoulder that quickly.
He dodges. He dodges and repeats, "Do not disturb Tassel." And in his arms cradling is Techna. You don't know where it's come from, but Techna now has a binky that she's kind of suckling on.
She's gonna take that out of the pig's mouth and take her pig back from this weird cat.
I had to keep her quiet somehow. She was squealing a lot.
That's what they do.
Oh, I don't know. I only know kittens, and barely so.
Well, thank you for watching her.
You're quite welcome.
How did you train them to do that?
Pardon?
The furry things. Did you train them to do that?
Oh. It's an industry secret, don't you think?
Okay.
Let's see. Okay, Doc's saying he only has so long. The Roll20 recording stopped.
Really?
So this recording didn't, but the Roll20 did. Which is fine. I can do the rest of it theater of the mind. I just want to know how much longer everyone else is feeling like going for. I know Null just got here.
Yeah, and I think my story for this episode is pretty much, ended, right?
I mean, there's a little reaction to do. You said you had how long?
I only have probably 10 minutes.
Do you think in 10 minutes we can conclude what everyone's outfit is, get to the ball, and have cliffhanger happen?
I just want to commission my staff.
Okay. You get
and then I can pick out my outfit.
It's basically commissioned by the amount of gold that it will take to gild your staff. And that's... I'll say it comes out to 20 gold.
Okay. So I'm down to 158.
Captain, what do you do for fancy outfits?
I'm going through the wardrobes on the ship.
Roll an investigation while I quickly tend to something. Forgive me.
Was that an investigation check, he said?
Yeah.
Did I roll it right?
Yeah, you did.
And now I'm busy.
You're just having fun, Blake. So Noel, how was the movie?
It was good. It ended on a cliffhanger. They're making a second part.
It's a canon event.
It's 2.5 hours, and they're like, no. There's more.
But wait, there's
Was it
more.
Spidey?
Yeah.
Was it Spidey? I want to go see that.
It even works underwater.
Okay, where are we?
I might go see that tomorrow, actually.
Okay.
I want to go see it.
It's all in tatters, honestly. From what you've seen, you feel like you'd be better off going to the West-East market?
West-East market.
The
It's called
market?
East.
Weasley. Hand me down
Up to the
road.
West.
What kind of outfit? Basically, the market for the right coin is whatever you want. So what does the captain want to wear to the gala? Like it's I'll put a reasonable price tag on it. What do you want your character to be wearing?
What color jacket would get me the better, recognize more as a captain?
As you're in the Palorian Order, you know that those kind of blues are going to more read it. And reds tend to be lower ranking on the rank spectrum. You know the captain of the guard you're traveling with, though he is a landlubber. His rank coloration is denoted by, I believe purple.
Ooh. Jeremiah be like,
Yes, purple. Oop, I did not mean to click that.
I completely forgot that my screen was not on. I was looking exactly like that.
So yeah, blue with purple accents typically denotes captainness.
been captonified.
At least in your experience. Actual may vary, but of course you're free to play with it any way you want. If you want like a stark white uniform with like epaulettes of like solid gold.
Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Yes. You get blue body paint and red scaleras.
Nice.
Hey, I like that.
I think you'd be more of a Paleon type.
I mean, because I get kind of a stocky vibe from Sean. I think more of an Admiral Trench.
Yeah, we'll roll with that.
Televisions, Perfelio men.
So what are you wearing to the gala?
We'll wear Admiral garment
Okay.
uniform. But how much will that run me?
For like 500 gold, you find this it's like a tailed down to the just below the knees suit coat with like gold buttons, gold like scale Like, you know those kind of admiral bars that are like scales? It's got like the tassels that come down. It's got like the fully like Napoleonic like proper hat. Every seam has been lovingly cared over. The pantaloons are the same. The boots are perfectly polished black with red accents.
Well, that's out of my price range. I've got about 156 gold. So is there anything in the marketplace?
You do find that there is a rental deal for the Admiral's uniform.
How much?
For 60 gold an evening.
Okay. We'll go with it.
You give us all this money and then you bleed us dry.
Well, here's the thing. I will probably wind up buying this knowing the way Captain is.
Unless you're a priest, then you get your garments for free.
Hey. Nella, what do you acquiesce?
Nella, I guess, while looking at clothes, she's going to try and take Deacon's advice and get something nice to wear.
Okay. What's Nella's current gold possession?
200
for 100, you can find conservatively whatever you want. If it's what you showed me, then yeah, you can find that perfectly for that price.
Yeah, I should just get that.
Yeah, okay. You can explain what you have accoutrement for yourself. I'll say this is as everybody's arriving Friday evening at the gala. Everybody enters, they kind of saw some stuff. You kept it secret, I'll say. And now you're entering and you may describe what Nella Vaucaine is wearing to the gala.
She found like a silk dress that like mid-thigh length, because anything longer would mess with her hooves. It's kind of a dark bluish, crossing over her chest and shoulders, with a kind of like gold metal design against her back. And she has her golden headband on still.
As you arrive there, you find that Lance found himself a slightly more formal outfit. Almost like what Saren wears, and what Carmichael also wears, though they're not here. But just a tunic with sort of an up here cape, a shawl, if you will, that comes off. You find Jessica has weaseled her way in. And you can place yourselves in the gala ball however you wish. You can talk to... sorry, Doc, how are we doing on time you have left? I can still go a few.
I could still go a few minutes.
Okay. I want to manage this responsibly. There needs to be just a pinch of build-up before I leave you on a cliffhanger, but okay.
Sure, grazie.
8%. If you want to intermingle a little, you can keep it brief. There's, of course, the table up here with who seem to be... It's one clergy and two clearly... Oh! I forgot an important element. On the day of... Forgive me. This is an important plot point I had written.
Thou art forgiven.
You were witness on your way there to a grand parade through the town. Dozens of who most of you instantly recognize to be holy honor guard of the order, dressed in gold and crimson garments, gold armor, crimson garments, leading in though her tusks were cleaved, an elephant adorned with a banner over its midsection. Donatello, you recognize this. Campaigns, armies themselves within campaigns are normally sponsored by royal houses in the higher echelon of the Pelorian order of the Empire. This banner you recognize as House Lorelei. A long and regal bloodline expanding long before the Age of Dragons. Sean, you know this to be the family for which the Lorelei Sea has its name, from their ancestors who tamed that sea. And now that we're and you saw as they got to the main place before you, helped down from that little person hold on top of the elephant, is led down a small in stature but very regally adorned woman, who, to those familiar with the garments of the order, you know her to be a woman, though she is clothed very heavily. Donatello, within Cathedra Petri there is a practice of piety for some women who dedicate their whole body to God. For the remainder of their life after this vow, they don a head-to-toe habit, hiding even their face behind what in this case of Lady Lorelei, as you would recognize her, is a pearl heirloom face mask, exposing only her mouth and piercing blue eyes as she glances over the crowd and is led as highest aristocracy into the residence. As you yourselves make your way into the residence of the mayor, you find her seated at this main table here with her honor guard. The other half of her 4 honor guard accompanying her, taking guard at the door. And finally, as you find your way to your seats, after a brief moment of silence, there's barely time to visit, you hear the door slam open and everybody goes silent, as standing there, standing in the doorway is what appears to be some Imperial Admiral. And as he steps into the light of the chandeliers, slowly the golden trim black bicorn hat shadows his face. He's appearing to wear a Pelorian blue shawl connected by gold chain over mithril pauldrons, his coat brown over a green shirt. The shawl trains to the floor alongside his black pants and boots. As he removes something from his black gloved finger, his form shifts. He grows a foot taller in stature, his body fills out to a buff visage, his face elongating into a scaled muzzle. Blue eyes flush orange as the pupils become narrow vertical slits. Father Innocent speaks up from the main table. Commandant Grimshaw, Dragonborn Ambassador, we are honored you could join us. And that's where we'll end for tonight. We are honored you could join us. And that's where we'll end for tonight.
What? What?